Yes, Ferrari, what is it? I forgot what it is already. Oh god, my brains aren't working. Ferrari 308 GTB. Yes, it's a Ferrari. It's the one that Matchbox Resurrection sent to me, and I can finally get cracking on you know, giving it a makeover. Well, makeover, I won't call it a restoration because unfortunately I can't do these tampos and stuff that's on it because I don't have a you know, decal paper thing or a printer or anything like that. So it's going to be like all the other Ferraris in my collection, and it's going to be going red, because as we all know, if you get a Ferrari in the wrong colour, it immediately depreciates. So red it is. Yeah, so the reason why I haven't started this already was because I was waiting for something, and finally arrived today. We've got a stack here. I was basically waiting for some more modern looking rims to come. The green light stuff that I normally get is alright, but the stuff is more suited towards, you know, kind of, you know, American muscle cars from the, you know, kind of 60s and 70s sort of thing. They seem to have gotten a nice niche in that, but they seem to also ignore the fact that, you know, the you know, 80s and 90s and, you know, early 2000s happened. It'd be nice if Greenlight actually did do some modern tyres, because they would be a lot easier to get than looking around for these. There's a lot of these available, you know, like through things like eBay or Wish.com, stuff like that. But they do tend to be expensive for a single pair. I managed to get a bundle together for a fairly decent price, including postage. It was basically £10 plus £5 postage from China, which, yeah, fair enough, for 4 sets of different rims. So I haven't decided which ones I'm going to put on this one yet. There's a couple. In fact, that one's my favourite so far. I'm just gonna, no, not those. Maybe those. Not those. So just put them away. So you can't see them because they're black on a black background. So I'll have to paint them up. I was expecting these to come and then be sort of like chrome silver, but they're not. I don't mind because I can just paint them up. So I've got 2 sets of wheels here I'm thinking about putting on this. Just looking at it, well, looking at it as it stands, the bodywork and everything's okay, just needs stripping. The windscreen does have a crack and a big scratch in it, and I'm not sure what I can do about that. The wheels I don't care about because they're coming off. Interior looks alright, but let's crack this fucker open and get it into the goo, and when we come back it'll all be all stripped down and ready, and you know, I can do stuff with it.
Many months later.
There we go, all stripped and everything, not cleaned yet because I haven't done around that. Apologies for the slant that's appearing on camera, like you know, like one of the fight scenes from, you know, 1966 Batman. Unfortunately, the little tripod that I hold my camera on, which I think I got from Poundland like about 15 years ago, unfortunately, the little thing that the camera screws into to hold it in place has broken. Yeah, so we have the bits here. I've got the base plate here. It's still got a bit of blue on it, but I'll clean that off properly, you know, with a knife or a screwdriver or something later. But yep, nothing wrong with the chassis. Nothing wrong with the body. All the paint came off the body without any trouble. Interior, it's just white plastic. That'll be getting repainted. Windscreen needs a clean. Nothing at all I can do about that crack in it. The spring steel plate is fine. Just needs a bit of bending back into to make it straight again, and then that can be popped back into the base plate and glued in place to stop it from coming out, even though it doesn't really need it because it's got quite a good friction fit going off there. But you know, wheels I'm not bothered about because I'm replacing them anyway, but these are going in the parts bin because despite the fact that they're, thingy, they're in really good nick. The axles are fine, the wheels themselves a bit scuffed, but nothing a coat of paint will do. Rims still got nice detail on them, so I can colour them in with a chrome pen and I'll be fine. So I'll just pop these in the parts box. So what am I going to do? Well, first and foremost, everything's going to need undercoating. So we'll set the main body of the old Ferrari up on here. There we go, and then the base part, black. It's going to be black and everything on the bottom, but these bits here, the fascia bits like the door, the front, the front scoop and everything like that, and this back piece here, they're going to be the same red as the Ferrari body or the main body. So I think what I'm going to have to do there is spray undercoat it, then mask it off, and then spray red on. So I'll put that like that there, because I'm also going to do the interior black. So we'll just put them on these helping hands, which are quite possibly one of the most useful things I've ever bought, apart from when you can't find somewhere to put the crocodile clip on. Let's try there. Yep, that's it, and then spin it round. The little bit's going to get this bit I'm going to give it a proper clean off, because there's you can see marks on there where the body's been over the windows for so long, and then you've got dirt accumulating. Just scrape that bit there. See some of the dirt's coming off just by scraping it with the fucking spring steel. So there we go. But yes, like I said before, the Ferrari is going to be in the correct colour, which is red. Ferrari red. Well, Ferrari red, or I think I can't remember which one it is that does it as Italian red. But I've got gloss red, I've got sort of a muted matte red, I've got dark red and thing. All my other Ferraris are sort of bright red colours, so in keeping with the thing of Ferrari, it's going to be bright red. Then I'll put some detailing on it, like we've got the grills at the back here, the radiator grills at the back, and then we've got like little bits around the door trim, around the doors and around the back here, like vents and stuff like that. So yeah, they'll all be getting detailed, inked or dry brushed. So yeah, hopefully when we come back, these will all be nicely painted, and we can start putting it back together and everything, which will be like sort of the whole point of this exercise. Bang, kapow, bang, smack, boff.
A few moments later.
Last time on Batman, I took this shit apart and then painted it and that. Yeah, but anyway, so we've got the main body done in some nice red, and bit of lacquer over the top of that, and that'll look lovely. Interior black, but I think I am going to put some colour on the seats, and just so they can see them. I mean, it'll get lacquered anyway, so the so it'll be nice and sort of glossy and everything. The main the base plate, I've sprayed the bits red that I needed to, and then when I took the masking tape off, it decided to take some of the black with it. So yeah, we'll need to do that. The windscreen has come up nice and thingy. It just got a thingy in some nice hot soapy water, a good thingy, and it's a good scrub, and it's come up nice and kind of shiny, apart from the front windscreen, which still has some scrapes and stuff on it. You can't see the big scrape as bad as it was. I think most of that was just kind of, I think it's a little scrape, but because of all the crap that was accumulated around the kind of scrape hole, it's now I've cleaned that off, you can't notice it as much, but the crack in the bottom corner is still there, and there's some other scrapes on there. It's like I said, I can't really do anything about that. I don't really have the stuff to be able to kind of polish that back down, and yeah, pain in the arse. I'll have to look for a solution in that. The spring steel I've just bent back straight. The wheels, now the wheels thing there, before when I showed you them you couldn't really see them. Now I've given them a spray of aluminium spray over the top, or aluminum if you're from the colonies, and give them there, and then put a bit of black ink in there to highlight the you know, the recesses and everything like that. Now there's two missing out of here. That's because I've got them here, just in this thing. I've fitted the axles to two of them so that I can start, you know, working out whether I need to, you know, snip the axle, you know, the axle bars down. And I don't think I need to. Maybe they could end up being a little bit too short. I'm not entirely sure at the moment because I haven't done a fitment, proper fitment with them. But yeah, they're looking quite nice. Those rims. See how close I can get before it. I don't know whether you can see there because I'm within the focal distance, but yeah, they look quite nice there. It's I think that was a good thing that they didn't come pre-painted, because if they were just all chrome, you wouldn't really be able to see the you know, the kind of recesses and stuff in there. But yeah, I just sprayed the faces. I don't see the need to spray the entire thing because you're only going to be able to see that bit. I mean, there's some you know, the pack comes with these rubber, you know, slip over tires as well, so you know, once they're on, you're only going to be able to see the rims anyway, unless you turn the thing upside down, you know, and be like anally retentive and want to look inside there for some reason, you know. It's whatever. Yeah, so what do I need to do now? Well, I need to put in the kind of detail in the grills on the front here, and I've just noticed there is a big piece of red here that's just been, well, I don't say it's just been because it's all dry around the edge, but it looks like a bit of the red paint's come off, so I'm gonna have to spray that again, for fuck's sakes. Give that a black, yeah, just give the bottom of this a, because there's some details on here that I wanted to paint in black anyway, you know, over the top of the red bits. So redoing black bits on this was always part of the plan anyway. And then, like I say, I'm going to do a little bit of work on the interior. But yeah, I'm very happy with these wheels that I got from. It was Joom, the website I got them from. It's called Joom. Don't ask me what the seller's name was because I just can't remember, but at the time I was looking, they had that deal on where it was 4 packs of wheels for 15 quid, including delivery from China. So took about, yeah, I think it was about 10-12 days for them to turn up. I don't know whether the kind of COVID situation has made that longer, you know, whether the normal delivery time is like a, you know, 4, 5, 6 days or something like that. Right, so we've got the kind of the basic paint job down, so I'm going to do the kind of you know, kind of detail filling in and stuff like that off camera, because I really don't like sitting painting and stuff like that and then having to zoom time up, because you still can't really see anything when I zoom time up. And if I included the footage of me doing painting and detailing, you know, the video will be like 2 hours long, you know, if I go through and do that. I know some people have asked to see more of what I do for painting, but it's one of those trade-offs. It's like I say, you know, if I ever get round to doing a specific video on how to do you know, like inking and stuff like that, I mean, to be fair, if you've been doing model making and painting and stuff as long as I have, then you know, you already know how to do that kind of thing, and it's not that hard really. But yeah, if I ever do that, then that'll be a special video on its own, you know, how to do inking, how to make your own ink instead of buying fucking Null oil. Sick of hearing that word, Null oil. It's watered down black paint with a bit of brown mixed in, or it could be watered down dark brown paint with a bit of black mixed in with it. That's all Null oil is really. And you don't need to spend 5 quid at fucking Games Workshop or however much it costs now. I know it's not fucking cheap. You don't need to spend that much money on a tiny little pot of fucking Null oil when you can go out and spend £1 on a fucking tube of artist's acrylic and put a bit of hot water and depending on how thick the paint is when you go and get the tube, obviously, you know, maybe a little bit of thinner or something like that. You don't need to do that, people, for fuck's sake. Just because Workshop likes to style itself as the one-stop shop for gaming and, well, gaming accessories, that's what they do. They don't give 2 fucks about model making really. But you know, the thing there, you know, one-stop shop for gaming and figures and paints and terrain and all that. But just because they style themselves, that doesn't mean they actually are. You know, probably. No, I'm going to leave that rant in. Yeah, so I'm going to go and do the detailing bits and that, and when we come back, we'll put this fucker back together and I'll discuss the Ferrari 308 for a little bit while I'm doing it. Yeah.
1 hour later.
Just as an interesting little side note, what I have here is the two examples of the other version of the 308, Ferrari 308, which is the Ferrari 308 GTSI. This is the model of the car that featured as Magnum, Thomas Magnum's car in this TV series Magnum PI during the 80s, starring Tom Selleck. I know there's an updated, modernised version of Magnum now. I haven't watched any of it. If it's anything like the updated version of MacGyver, it'll be crap, but you know, I'll watch it and then I'll give an opinion on that at some point, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, the reason why I have two, I originally got one and wanted to do it up like Magnum's car. Did it up, I was perfectly happy with it, except for one problem was the original axles on the wheels were rusted up to buggery, and this was back in the days before I discovered that you could get replacement wheel sets from somewhere, so I just bunged the old wheels back on, but I had to make replacement axles, and unfortunately for me, the glue that I used managed to drip into the the kind of wheel hubs, so I have a non-rolling Magnum car. The second one I got was just in a bag of cars, so I thought I'd do it up and put it for my Ferrari collection. Fortunately, it's lacking a windscreen, and to be honest, I'm not very happy with the paintwork I did on it. It's not terribly good. So, while I'm waiting for the 308 GTB to finish drying off and things like that, I'm going to pull these two apart and cannibalise them to make one car. And I'll have a decent 308 GTSI to go along with the 308 GTB. Sounds like a plan, but we'll see how that works out at the end when I do the final reveal and everything of everything else. So yeah, watch this space. Yeah, watch this space. Yeah.
Several days later.
Aha! Right, we're all done with this lot. Well, one more little bit to do because I have these. I fitted the axles and rims to the the lower chassis, but I haven't fitted the tyres because I wanted to give everything a zap of lacquer first. So the wheels still roll. They're a bit like that in the thing, but the spring tension from the spring steel put them down. The tyres which are stuck to the bottom of the goddamn little thing. There we go. Inanimate objects nil, me one. The tyres just slip over the rims like so. Just finagle that one into place. There we are. And then the second one. There we go. It's a full set of front tyres on, and then the rear. Just get in there. Just pop over. There we go. There's like a little lip on the inside of the on the inside of the tyre, so it once it pops into place, it'll stay there. So you're not going to get the rubber tyres slipping off and ruining your day. What's that with there? There's a little bit poking out there. I've pushed the lip out a little bit too much. Hang on, just finagle that back in. There we go. Right, there we are. So we've got a. Oh, that's got a nice sound to it when you roll it. Very nice, I like that. So we've got the windscreen all cleared up and everything, apart from the crack and the few scratches. I've polished that as much as I can with what I've got available, which I used cleaned up with hot soapy water, then gave it a spit shine, which maybe to sound disgusting, but it does work. Gave it a bit of a spit shine, and then I tried a bit of furniture polish on it, and managed to get the most egregious of the scratches off, but without anything a bit more specialised, I can't really do that. Interior, just painted black with some red bits on, gave it a nice sap of thingy, put some indicators on the front, and then the main body just inked in the grills and bits like that, put a yellow bit there for the Ferrari logo. So let's get this put back together then, shall we? So start off with the windscreen, just get that in there, seat in place. Doesn't need gluing in place because it gets held in by basically by this the interior portion of it. Just line that up with the rivets, and then you have to line the rear grills up with the things at the back there for the 308's kind of signature rear radiator things. Make sure that's lined up with the front. Yep, everything's okie dokie. And we shall get the bottom put on. Just line everything up there, push it in, everything up there, push it in. That fits together absolutely spot on, perfect. Just put that down a second, or we'll just get the old cheap ass pound shop super glue out, and we'll just put drop of glue in the front rivet and a drop of glue in the back rivet. Give it a little wiggle just to get things moving around so it sinks into all the cracks. Give it a blow, and there we go, it's all together. And put it down, and the wheels roll perfectly with nothing else. So yeah, there we go, Ferrari 308 GTB, cleaned up and given a new lease of life. I've just noticed the front set of wheels seem to be a bit darker than the rear ones. No, might stick a bit of chrome on them, I don't know. But yeah, there we go, it's all done, ready in that. Just to come around the back, I've put the number plate in and the rear lights. Rear lights and rear indicators, and the front, we've got the, what they call it, the 308 has pop-up headlights, so there's no need to colour the front bits in. They just sit there until you flick a switch inside and the lights come out. As I was saying, I did up the 308 GTSI as well. There we go, it's in a lighter red because I used a different red for the body for this one, so that you can sort of tell them apart from the obvious, which is the GTSI is a convertible, whereas the GTB is not. I didn't change the wheels on this one. In hindsight, I probably should have. I wish I had. Might go back and change them now. But yeah, there we go. That's the 308 GTB and the 308 GTSI, as featured in, like I said, Magnum PI. They drove, Magnum drove around in several different versions of the 308 GTS throughout the series. None of the Ferraris actually belonged to Magnum in the series. They all belonged to his boss, who was the guy called Robin Masters, who you never saw on screen, but in a few episodes he was voiced over the telephone or the intercom by Orson Welles. And all the cars basically that Magnum drove belonged to his boss, and his caretaker Higgins sort of didn't like the way he treated them and everything like that. Yeah, go watch the original Magnum series with Tom Selleck. It was a great series, comedy, crime, bit of action, stuff like that. It was great. Still don't know about the new series, haven't watched it. Yeah, so we'll do some pictures of these in close-up so you can kind of see them. And I've just noticed that this one here has a fucking paint scratch right on the nose. I'll have to do something to sort that out. But yeah, I'll say two more Ferraris to go in my collection. I already had this one, but another Ferrari to go in the collection, and the other GTSI I've got, which is here, is in pieces because I need to sort out the chassis from where I kind of got a bit, don't know whether you can see there, but I put a bit too much glue in there and it all went to shit. The other thing I noticed, I broke the front part off the thing. The other thing I noticed, these two are Corgi, is it Whiz Wheels or Juniors? No, it just says Corgi. This one has the internals on this one is just one piece, whereas the internals on this, this other one, are actually two pieces. You can get the seats out and just stay with the thing. I don't know why they did that. I mean, probably because they wanted to make the interior this brown colour, which I then went over the thing like that. But I don't know why. But yeah, there are two versions of this 308 GTS out there. If you find one, I don't know which one's the older version. I would say that this one's the older version because the internals on this one are greatly simplified and a lot easier to handle. But yeah, so we'll get rid of that. I'm probably going to do like a Gaslands with this at some point. But yeah, so there we are, Ferrari 308 GTB and Ferrari 308 GTSI, or Quattro Valvove, I think the GTSI is also called, or one of the models of it is called, because there are about 3 or 4 different versions of the 308 in various different configurations. But yeah, it's a Ferrari, they're red. What more can you ask for? close-up pictures to follow. Thank you for watching this far. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe and all that. Go to my Facebook page, Pikas Workshop, the link of which will be down below. And if you're feeling particularly generous and you like what I do, feel free to make a donation to my PayPal, which, you know, will be put to good use on buying supplies, which I'm running really low on now because of the lockdown and everything. I'm running out of paints and sprays and all stuff like that because it's become really hard to get stuff recently. You know, buying new tools, cars, blah 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 blah. So yeah, and you know, thank you for watching if you made it this far, and we will see you next time with something different.